everyone, it's Janet Wakeland with RemarkablyCreated.com. In today's One Take Wonder video, I have another fun fold for you. I love this fold because it looks a lot harder than what it is. And for those of you who know me, you know that I'm not into a lot of things that are really fussy and have multiple steps and all of that kind of stuff. So this fold was perfect for me. Deb Lehigh, a fellow Remarkable stamper, showed me how to do this at our latest retreat. So I'm excited to pass my excitement on to you guys. I'm going to start first by showing you 3 samples and then we'll make one card together. So the first sample features the Eastern Palace suite of products. You've got the beautiful designer series paper. You've got some of the really fun gold vinyl stickers. There's our new label tab sitting over here at the side, the Label Me Pretty Punch to use as a tab. And what happens with this project is that when you open it, that's how you pull the tab, then that's how you open it, and that's your card. It's still a standard card, still fits in an A2 envelope, but it's just another twist. How you decorate or embellish the inside will be up to you. In this case, then, I used the Eastern Beauty stamps to coordinate with the images that were on the front. The die cut opening for this card and the other 2 that I'm going to show you was done with the Layering Squares framelit. So that's that one. This sweet one with a little poodle that has a little bit of an attitude was done featuring products from the Birthday Memories suite, specifically the Designer Series paper and the framelits. Created a little tail here, and then when you pull it open, I have yet to embellish the inside, but you've got all this room for the message. You can either handwrite it or, again, you can continue to decorate it. So that's that project. The next one features images from one of our host sets. This month is June. It's June 2017. There is a host reward special going on where you're getting an additional $35 in host products for any personal order or party order of $350 or more. So this is just waiting to be colored, but I like that it can also just be outlined like it is. You're amazing. Remember that. And then when we pull it, you can see some more of the images waiting to be colored. I haven't decided yet if it's waiting to be colored with just a little bit of the Calypso coral to tie it in, and then a little centers, or if I'm going to go totally crazy coloring it in. I will tell you that one of the hardest things that I experienced when making this fold was trying to decide what to use for the tabs. In this case, obviously you can see where the tab sticks out beyond the border, and I'm going to have to adjust my envelope a little bit. This one is within the border, so it will work fine with an envelope. Again, this one sticks out just a little bit, and I could have just done a small piece of cardstock and put the greeting down here. So now let's go ahead and let's make this project together. For this project, I've decided that I'm going to do an oval for my opening as opposed to a square. You can do the circles, you can use our label framelits, lots of different options for creating your opening. You need to know the image that you're going to be putting on the front of your card so that you know what size framelits that you want to be working with. So in this case, I'm working with Crafting Forever, and I'm going to be working with this large pot of paintbrushes as my initial image. So I do know that it's the 2 largest framelits from the ovals. And what you're going to start with, let's take all of this off to the side here for a minute, is you're going to start with half a sheet of cardstock. So this is 8.5 by 5.5, okay? Then I have a piece that's cut down like 3 3/4 by 5 inches of a contrasting cardstock. Do you need to do this step here, this extra piece? No. That's just what's going to give you, like here I have this little extra pop of color showing. So I just wanted that little extra layer there against the white, but you don't need to do that part. This part can be optional. And then in this case, I have a piece of Designer Series paper from our Patterns and Pieces paper. It has some artsy images on it, so I thought it tied in perfect with Crafting Forever. And this piece is cut to 4 inches by 5 1/4 inch. What you're going to do is you're going to imagine that these are not die cut. I just put a little glue tab behind them because, again, that will be hidden to hold this in place. You could even have gone ahead and have scored your piece of cardstock ahead of time so that again, you know, you have a better visual and you don't want things to slide. So I went ahead and I had all 3 pieces on, and then I used the smaller framelit out of the 2, and I laid that down and I ran all 3 layers together at one time. I put a small shim, just a small piece of paper up under the sandwich, and I ran it through twice. And because these are just a simple line, they cut really well, and I was able to cut through all 3 layers, no problem. Then this one here is going to have this size opening, okay? So what you want to do then is, it's got the smaller opening. You're going to take your larger framelit and just cut around that to enlarge that opening, so that now when it's over top, you get that pretty contrasting color for your frame. So first step was to cut all 3 layers with the smaller framelit. And then the next step was to enlarge the smaller opening with the larger framelit. Okay, so 2 different steps with cutting there for you. And I will write the steps out for you in the blog post for you. So then next thing that you need to do is we need to start adhering all of it together. So let's go ahead. This happens to be Flirty Flamingo. That's just a fun color to say. And of course I know it's just waiting for the new flamingos to arrive. And I'm just covering that image. And then let's go ahead and put some adhesive on here. Okay, gotta remember which way I cut it. There we go. So that's the front of our card, just like that. Now we can go ahead and set that aside for just a second. You'll need a second piece of paper that is 5 inches by 6 inches. And with this piece of paper, you're going to score it at 2 inches every 2 inches. So you'll have a mark at 2 inch and one at 4 inch. So every 2 inches you'll score it. You'll have 3 folds. Now for this piece, I do recommend that you go ahead and, let's go ahead and crease this down here real good, that you use your tear and tape, because it just really has a good grasp of the cardstock, and your cardstock's not going to end up going anywhere. Now one of the other things to remember is that your first fold, so it opens, this is going to be flat and it opens this way. Okay? Crease, indent, crease, indent, mountain, valley, mountain, valley. M comes before V, so mountain, valley is what you want, okay? So now let's go ahead and let's take our tear and tape. Mountain, valley, yep. Just want to make sure I'm getting it right after I turned it over. Sometimes you think you have it just the way you want it to be, and then you turn it over and you lose the orientation and you get kind of a little turned around. Just because as this card gets pulled on, you're going to have, you know, it's just going to take a little bit of just a beating. And so you want to make sure that it doesn't come apart. So I like the tear and tape. Just don't make sure it goes anywhere. Paper piercing tool is essential for getting those little backings off. Yeah, one more. Okay. So now what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and position this. I could opt to have a contrasting piece of color on the inside. Here in this case, there's vanilla. On the inside of this one, you see Calypso Coral. Again, it's going to be a personal preference. Since this is white and I've got white, I'm actually not going to contrast it at this point. And I'm just going to go ahead and lay that in. And then I'm going to close it. And what I want to do again is I want to get a little bit of an idea of where to put my adhesive. And in this case, I'm going to make a small indent with my bone folder, just so I can see that. If you have an impressing tool, you could also do that. And we're going to put 1 or 2 pieces of tear and tape in there. just again for that extra grab, because that piece is going to get pulled on a lot as they open and close it, going, how'd you do that? So, and I'm not wasting anything. This is the piece that was cut out. This is the piece that I went ahead and stamped a little bit ahead of time. And so what I'm doing is I'm just offsetting the two just a little bit. Let me see if it... Okay, so just offsetting it. So actually the card looks like that. Don't panic, because we're going to hide this part. So I'm just offsetting it so that when this piece is on in the right position, okay, when it's open, it has that little bit of a color contrast on one side of it. So now what I'm going to do again is the same thing. I'm going to just make my marks with my impressing tool because I want to know where to put my adhesive. I am going to just take a little bit of snail as backup over here, but we're still going to lay our tear and tape down. And then one more thing before I put it all together. I have some of our baker's twine here, and I'm just going to create a loop with it. And I want it to be kind of thick, so I'm just going to go 1, 2, I'm going to make it 3 thick. So I've got this loop. And I'm going to, I want to lay it down so that it comes out of the side. And then I'm going to put some tear and tape over top of it to hold all of those ends. And I can reopen that, oops, reopen. See, lots of tear and tape on this project, guys. That tear and tape's some good stuff. We'll lay this in here. And now I have this little tab so that when I pull it, it's going to open up. So I just have my little tab here that I've created using the baker's twine, and it just opens. And now I can come in here and I can add some greetings. I can embellish it. If you want your image to come off of the edge, I would recommend stamping first, but let's just at least go ahead and add a greeting in here to the inside of this. And I'll give you one last tip about stamps as we finish this project up. Put that on the front of that so I remember to clean it. Okay. I love this greeting. Crafting forever, housework whenever. And I am definitely avoiding housework at the moment. So I can come back in here and I can color this in. And again, quick and easy for you. And there's your fun project. So your final bonus tip, you saw as I pulled these out that I went ahead and I was taking the backing off of the stamps. A couple of things that I do is when I get my brand new stamps, I go ahead and I peel this backing off of the whole thing and I press it into my case. And that way I know, I can see at a glance which stamps are missing out of the case. It holds them in place. They're not sliding all over the place. And one thing, it's just a personal preference, but I choose not to put the labels on my stamps. It's just something that I've chosen not to do. And so what I do is I store the labels back here so that when I get ready to sell my products, I do sell all of my retired products. When they do retire, it's there for the next person if they want to go ahead and add them. So just a little bonus tip for you in preparing your stamps for use. So come visit me at remarkablycreated.com. I'll have the steps written out for you. I'll have close-up pictures of all of these for you, as well as ordering information for the product, guys. So thank you for watching. Take care.